Joyce Erb, guest designer with Cut at Home. My blog is paperfinesse.com, where I specialize in showing crafting tips for people with weak and challenged hands. But there are plenty of other techniques and products explored for everyone else. I'm making a tag today on a manila card, and I'm using pan pastels. Pan pastels are an oil-based chalk, and they go on really well. The sponge I'm using is by Soft, and they just really blend well with the pastels. The colors on the top are the pearlized colors, which are my favorite. And at some point, when I get this all colored, I'm using 3 shades of blue and 1 shade of green. The green will be towards the bottom to resemble grass. But at the end, I wanted the corners and edges darker, and that video is missing. I applied some Tim Holtz Distress Stain, and I really wanted to show you that even if you totally ruin something, you don't have to throw it out. What I did is, you'll see here shortly, see how the card is white? I put a thin coat of gesso over the whole thing, and now I'm starting over. See the dark paint on my paper there? That was the Distress Stain. The gesso gives it a little bit lighter color, which was fine. If I would have just left it alone, I loved it the way it was as well. So either way, with gesso or not, I'm going to be coloring. I use a penny black stamp of a lily, of a bunch of lilies, and I'm going to be coloring today with the Zig Real Brush Real Color markers. Here, that's a water brush, and I'm just lifting a little bit of the color off that leaf. It was a little dark. And I've got a dark smudge towards the top there that I'm removing. The Zig Real Brush Real Color are really a lot of fun to use, and they're really easy. Because it's a real brush, they actually have bristles, not the stiff tips like most watercolor markers. And it's real fine. I use one distress marker. I use Distress Walnut to color in the branches. The rest of it will be the Zig. It's got a real fine tip to these markers. So I start with the leaves. I'm just going to put a coat of green on it. Now with these markers, which you can also just do a little bit of color and then use a water brush to spread it to get variations of color. I don't really need that in this particular design. I'm just putting on a layer of color. And I wipe off on the paper only because I'm not sure if I'm getting chalk on the tip at all. So every so often I will just wipe on the paper to make sure I've got a clean tip. And I always clean it off just before I close it as well. What's happening there, you saw me wiping my hand on the paper there, is I was checking. I've got a smudge by that bottom lily right there where I'm rubbing, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. I stamped this image with VersaFine, and I thought VersaFine was waterproof. Apparently it's not. So I'm going to stop and seal it with this workable fixative by Krylon. You know, I tried to show you that it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, but now it has a coating. You want to seal chalks anyway. I was going to do it at the end, but you don't have to use Krylon or any other fixative. An inexpensive hairspray such as Aquanet, just give a light coating of it and that will also seal it. That's so the chalk doesn't rub off. So then I just continue coloring. I'm not doing a solid coverage here, I'm just doing some strokes. I'm following the lines in the design. It's real easy, using these pens. I used a light purple and a dark purple for the flowers and a green for the leaves, so I didn't use a lot of colors. Pen pastels are pretty versatile. If you, another technique that's really fun is to put down a layer of your pan pastels and then stamp with Versamark, just Versamark, and then pick it up, and the Versamark will remove the design from the pan pastels. Then if you let it dry, stamp again with a different design in Versamark and go over it with a different color pan pastel, you get an overlaid design. It's really cool. This is Wink of Luna, and it's gold, and I'm just coloring the stamens in with a little bit of gold. Wink of Luna is also by the same people that do Wink of Stella, or Wink of Stella. And I wanted to give my butterfly a little bit of glitz here, so I go over it. I cut out some pattern paper from one of the paper packs I've got from Gina K Designs and chose two colors. I'm using a penny black. These are penny black dies. They're creative dies. And there's 3 border strips in this particular one. And I cut all 3 out. And I'll show you what each design looks like. I'm going to use the one with the dots, with the little circles. It just adds a little something something. You don't see much of it, but that's okay. I didn't have any purple string or twine or anything for the tag, so I added a piece of green and white ribbon. It's going to put it on at a slant. So this is the position it's going to be glued into, and now I just need to add some embellishments. I'm going to use my katana pickup tool to position the sequins. I'm not sure where this pack of sequins came from. I'm going to be using the green and the gold from this little mixed set, and I'm going to be adhering it down with Angel Craft tape. This is the permanent, and it's extremely sticky. I decided to add a little bit more Wink of Stella to the butterfly to give it a second coat. And I'm using my Dries Clear glue to adhere the sequins with. The largest sequin is going over that little splotch that I had when my ink smeared. So easy this tool picks up the sequins. I gotta tell you, it's not cheap, but it works so much better than the pickup stick did. Then I used a little pointy end to position them. I'm trading that one out because it was copper instead of gold. Just putting a little bit of gold in the center of each flower. Guys, I don't usually do much with sequins, but I want to give it a little shine here. Then all I have to do now is to remove the tape. I put tape on the back already, and adhere the card, and it's done. I added a piece of white and green ribbon to the top as well. I hope you enjoyed today's project. The products I used in the written instructions are at the blog at Cut at Home. The products I used today was penny black stamps and dies. Be sure to subscribe and like the video at Cut at Home, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Paper Finesse.